right now in connection with the electoral bonds hearing in the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court has made some oral observations. The Supreme Court has signaled that changes in the scheme. We're talking about the electoral bond scheme here. The Chief Justice of India has said that they do not wish to interfere in the scheme, but they've asked for the scheme to be made more transparent. The CJI has also said that the government needs to ensure that kickbacks are not legitimized. These are the oral observations coming in from the Supreme Court, which is now hearing the electoral bond scheme case. The Supreme Court, of course, has gone ahead and said that there needs to be some changes in the scheme, but of course, they've said also that they do not wish to interfere in this particular scheme. Harish continues to be on the broadcast now for more information on this. Harish, of course, this is some serious oral observation by the Supreme Court, which has, of course, indicated that there needs to be some changes, but has also pointed out that the judiciary will, in fact, not be the one making those changes.
Yes, that's right. Picking up from where the Supreme Court bench had left yesterday, Supreme Court has made more scathing remarks against the electoral bond scheme as it exists and said that some major fine-tuning needs to be done in this present scheme to reduce opacity, bring in more transparency, bring in more level playing field, and also ensure the electoral bond scheme does not result in legitimizing kickbacks and quid pro quo. The Supreme Court made a very significant observation that earlier there was a cap that a company cannot donate as funds more than 7.6% of its profit. But after that has been lifted, even a company with 1 crore profit they show sometimes donate 100 crore as political electoral funds. So that way, that in a way, and the government and most of the biggest beneficiary is always the government of the day or the ruling party. And the ruling party knows which company is giving it and for a definite purpose. And this leads to kickback and quid pro quo. That should be avoided. There should be a cap on the political funding. And what the Supreme Court referred to level playing field is that the ruling party knows who are the big corporates and how much funds the opposition gets. At the same time, opposition or the common man, even under the RTI, doesn't know how much a particular political party gets as funds and who are funding them. And even the Supreme Court went into the allegation by the petitioners and the opposition parties that the ruling party can use this using the SBI and investigating agencies to book them under criminal cases for corruption and also book them in cases. So there is no level playing field. The Supreme Court had even yesterday suggested that there can be a mechanism where the Election Commission of India gets all the funds and that is equitably distributed among the political parties. But this Supreme Court said, we will not interfere. We are only suggesting changes. It is for the legislature and the executive to do it. There is beyond a point we will not act because these are the domain of public policy and policy matters. There is a limit to which the judiciary can interfere. So even as we speak, the hearing is going on in the Supreme Court. We'll have to wait and watch for more observations. Since yesterday, as the centre is arguing, the Supreme Court Chief Justice bench is making a lot of such crucial remarks. Mainly, the emphasis is on removing the opacity, bringing more
Absolutely, Harish. Will, of course, keep an eye out on all the developments as the hearing is still underway. And like you rightly mentioned there, this is an issue that has been widely discussed across the political spectrum. The Supreme Court also now making some serious observations, asking for changes to be made, but also saying that the Supreme Court, the judiciary, in fact, will not interfere with this matter.